What if I told you that this video can help you increase your productivity and at the same time help you understand some of the very basic system design concepts as well? Try to think, how did algorithms come into existence? There must be some real life problems that humans were trying to solve and then it converted into algorithms. For example, when you are trying to look at a word in dictionary, what do? You first come to the middle, then try to look in the left half or try to look in the right half, correct? What is that? That is actually just how the binary search algorithm actually works. So, can there be some other algorithms that work in huge applications but can actually help you to make your life better as well? Let us try to find out some of those. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Let us start with the most basic one, and that is known as exponential backoff. Basically, in computer science, what happens is there is a server which is handling all of your requests. In a normal scenario, you give it a request, it gets you back the response. But sometimes things go viral. Sometimes a server is very much overloaded. In that scenario, what happens? A lot of people are making the same request again and again. So if you try to hammer the server again and again with all those requests, your server can get overloaded and your service will go down. In that scenario, what do? Instead of hammering down your server with so many requests, you do a backoff strategy. You make a first request at 1 second, then you wait 2 seconds to make another request. If it fails, back off 4 seconds and try to make a request. If that also fails, back off 8 seconds and then try to make a request. With this approach, you allow the server to recover a little and then serve you. Now, if you think about it, this is very much applicable in real life as well. Let us say you just applied to a job and got rejection. Immediately, your basic instinct is that, okay, I will apply to 20 other different companies. You pick up the same resume and start applying. What are you doing over here? You are just overloading yourself. You are in a panicked state and you are applying to all of these different places. The result is not going to be different. You are again going to get all of those rejections and it is going to bring you down. Instead, a better approach over here is try to take a step back and assess, okay, what went wrong, and then apply again. If you still fail, try to assess it again. Was it the resume or was it your skills? Then apply again. If you still handle a failure, maybe you need a different workaround. Maybe you need a referral. So this exponential backoff, it actually helps you to gain visibility and apply in a better position next time. Same can happen if you're trying to gamble or if you're trying to bet on stocks. If you fail at one stock, your mind instinctively says, okay, I need to get back all of this money, and you may end up making wrong decisions. Do the exponential backoff technique. Try to wait a little while, assess and understand the market, and then invest again. So this is how you can try to optimize and be more productive. The better part is adding some randomness, adding some jitter. That means every time you try to make the request, try to make small additions or try to make small edits. Like for example, don't apply with the same resume. Try to make some changes as per the job description and then apply again. This is where the magic happens, and this is how a problem at scale is also handled in computer science. So that is how you can take care of all of the requests. And now comes the next part, and that is caching. Without caching, a normal behavior is you send out a request and a server responds back to you. So for example, you are making all of these requests. You make the request and the server responds you back. For every request, you do the same operation over and over again. Notice that even if I have the same request, I am taking the exact same time each and every time. What happens when you add another layer of caching in between? Caching means you try to store that, okay, what is gonna happen, and maybe you can predict it. So look at it now. A request A comes in, but then you cache it. A request B comes in, and then you cache it. Next time, request A comes in. Since it was already cached, you immediately got the result. A next request comes in, but you cache it. Now you get the request A again, so you cache it and you immediately get back your response. What just happened? This caching layer, this actually helped to save you some time. In real life also, this caching layer can help you increase your productivity. Basically, what are you trying to do over here? You are trying to save some of the compute power. Think of your brain just like a computer. Think of a scenario like, okay, you have to prepare breakfast every morning. If you try to think about that every day, I have to make some breakfast, you are spending your brain trying to process all of that information. But on the other hand, if you try to make a timetable, if you try to make a schedule that on Mondays I will eat this, on Tuesdays I will eat this, that way you are doing all of the compute at once and then saving your brain power every day. So, when you see people making a timetable and they are scheduling all of the things, they are not boring. They are actually trying to save all of that brain compute power so that they can invest their brain on other useful things. And that is how you can apply this caching concept in everyday life also. When you go into a bookstore, you know that, okay, these are the hottest books, so they will be available immediately on the front shelf. They are caching all of those books. So this is one lesson which you can easily apply to your everyday schedule. Stop resolving the problems that you have already solved. And this brings me to point number 3, and that is called rate limiting. Basically, when you design your service in computer science, you have to make sure that your service does not get overwhelmed. For example, if you have used ChatGPT or Claude or any other LLM agents, what happens? After a certain request, it limits you that, okay, you cannot make more than this many number of requests per day. Is the service broken? No. They are just trying that their service remains up. Because if a lot of people will keep on using the service, then it may get down or it may get degraded. Basically, they are trying to save that, okay, the service should keep on running smoothly. You can think of this like a token bucket algorithm. You cannot serve everyone at once. This, for example, is your server over here, and let us say 5 is your capacity right now. If you are sending requests one by one, it is fine, the server is able to handle all of this. But what happens if a lot of requests come in? Then one of the requests got rejected and you got rate limited. Sure, after some time the server gains capacity and you are able to send more requests again. That is what happens on a new day when you are able to ask questions to the chat agent again. This is actually how rate limiting works. And this algorithm actually saves your service from a lot of malicious attacks as well. For example, someone just tries to flood your service with a lot of requests. Then again, this rate limiting helps you to maintain and reject most of the services. You can see that only some of these services are allowed, whereas others are getting rejected. This is a similar situation which you see with CAPTCHAs. If you keep on making requests, suddenly you will have a CAPTCHA in front of you to verify that you are a human, and only then you are allowed to move ahead. So what am I trying to say over here? I'm trying to say that you need to learn to say no. I'm sure you get a lot of requests every day that a friend comes in, hey, can you help me with this? Your manager comes in, hey, you need to get this work done. Your wife or your girlfriend, they come in that, hey, can you hang out with me? All of these tasks may seem very small and you feel that, yes, I can do it. But if you keep on adding more and more to your plate, none of them will get finished. And in the end, what will eventually happen is you will get even more dissatisfied. You are going to feel bad that, oh my God, I wasn't able to do even these simple tasks. Whereas the fault was not in the tasks. The fault is not in you. You are just having too much on your plate to process. Sure, sometimes you can handle a burst. Like for example, you can work for 2 a.m. up until one night. But you cannot repeat this every other day. You will lose that capacity. You don't have infinite fuel to work upon. That is how you can apply rate limiting to your actual life as well. When you say no to somebody, you are not rejecting them. You are basically trying to protect a version of yourself that can actually get things done. And now let us try to pivot into an intricate topic. And I really like this one because it relates to the world of AI. And that is known as overfitting. Basically, when you train a model, it can happen that you have trained it with something very, very specific and something very, very generic. You might have been in a similar situation yourself. Let us say you are preparing for an exam. One method is that you actually learn all of the patterns, all of the textbook. Other method is that you can look at the last year's papers and then only learn those specific concepts. It could be possible that when you appear for an actual exam, it is based upon the same pattern and you are going to ace the exam. But what if someone asks you something different? Then this pattern of your learning won't apply. What I'm trying to say over here, let us say you're trying to study all of these particular patterns. If you just memorize all of them, you take a practice test and perfect, everything works. These are your previous year's papers. But in a real exam, The patterns could be different, and that is where you can fail. This is exactly what is overfitting and what you're trying to avoid. You can also think of it like a cooking recipe. If you're targeting only a certain cuisine or only a certain type of dishes, then you may get perfect at it. But that does not mean that you understand cooking in general. You may be approached with an entirely different dish and it can turn out to be a blunder. But that's a trap because when you try to focus, when you try to apply all of the effort into a single thing, it feels so seductive. You feel focused. But you can also blend into overfitting, and that is what you want to avoid. You want to understand things from a broader point of view. And that is how you become more and more productive. For example, if you're learning Python, do not just focus on learning Python and all of its concepts. You need to learn all of the technologies that surround it also. That is what makes the system works entirely, and that is what helps you to grow. Speaking of problems, one common mistake that a lot of people do is comparing yourself to others. This problem has been solved in computer science. Basically, when you write an algorithm, you never judge how fast it is running on your system. Trust me, that number is completely useless. We determine how efficient an algorithm is by understanding how it will run at scale. Basically, for example, there are different algorithms of solving the same problem. One runs in order of 1 time, log n time, n square, and 2 to the power n. If the problem is small, it feels that, okay, all of the solutions are very good. But when you increase the problem, you are gonna see a magic happening. You are gonna see how the algorithms are scaling. As soon as you double the input size, notice that a poorly written algorithm just explodes and it is not good. You are gonna lose all of the time and that algorithm fails. What you're trying to say over here is that the algorithm running on your computer is never a benchmark. Don't use it to compare how good or bad it is. Similarly, in life, if you are on the right track, it does not matter wherever you start. For example, some people have a lot of good resources. Yes, they have a head start. But if your trajectory is correct, if you're learning all of the new things, then don't compare yourself. What I'm trying to say over here is, let's say you are this red dot and someone over here have a head start from you. They have better resources and they have all of the good things in life. But you at the bottom are at a good trajectory. So what does that mean? Do not compare yourself right now. Wait for a little while and let things happen on their own. If you are at the right trajectory, after a certain while, you are gonna have steady growth and you will be much better than the person who had a head start in the beginning. And this feeling is more common than you think. You open Instagram and suddenly you see a story that someone bought a new house, someone started their own company, someone is going on a vacation, and suddenly you feel sad that, okay, am I doing something wrong? This particular feeling is a bug. You need to understand that if you are on the right trajectory, then your starting point does not matter. Having a head start, yes, it gives you some room for improvement, but if you're on the right trajectory, certainly you are gonna supersede those folks and you will be at a better state in your life. You need to have a vision. You need to understand what are you building. And in this particular era of AI, this skill is even more essential because everyone has all of these tools available. The idea comes that what can you do with all of these tools? And that is where I can also help you out a little bit. If you feel that you struggle with understanding all of these AI tools, how you can take the maximum advantage of it, you can schedule a one-to-one session with me and we can discuss about almost anything. We can make a study plan for you and we can track your trajectory. You can find a link in the description below and we can plan it out even more. Coming back to the summary of this video, each of the system design concept targets towards a single motive. That stop optimizing for the instant. Focus on the long run. And that should be your approach in life as well. That, okay, now I need to say no to somebody. Now I need to stop recalculating all of the things that I have already done. This is where I'm overfitting. This should be your way going forward. And that is how you can boost yourself. That is how you can upskill yourself. If you feel that any of this concept sticks with you and can actually help you level up, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This really keeps me motivated and I can make more such videos. Also, a huge shout out to all of the members who support my channel. You guys really keep me going. As a member, you do get priority reply to your comments and early access to new videos as well. Stay tuned for my upcoming video. Until then, see ya.